Hi, so today we are going to be looking at how to set up a nursery, because I realized lots of students, when they want to start up their farms, the nursery stage seems to be like a major issue, a major setback. Now, so many of us, we get different types of materials that we can use for our nursery, from nursery tray to little disposable nylons, disposable cups. Now, the most important thing in whatever you're using for nursery is let your nursery be something that the excess water have holes at the bottom that they can go out from. They should have holes at the bottom they can go out from. Okay, so we are going to be doing this a lot. Once I start, I will have to face this more. So they should have holes at the bottom they can go out from. That is the excess water. So the first thing we are going to do is to get our different substrates that we want to use. Get our different substrates that we want to use. So even if you have something small like this, you will notice at the bottom there are holes. So if you are going to improvise to use whatever it is you need to use, make sure there are holes at the bottom so the excess water can go out. I hope that makes sense. So this is what we want to use. I'll be using different substrates. So here, this is peat moss. So now you'll notice that as I am filling, I am not going to be pressing it. I am not pressing, very important. I am not pressing, I'm just pouring it in. So this is peat moss. Like I said earlier, I will be using different substrates. So notice I am not pressing, I'm just filling it in. So I did not press it down, no. So once this is full, so this is peat moss. If what you have is coconut fiber, but I want us to see that you can use whichever one you have access to. If what you have access to is coconut fiber, then feel free and use your coconut fiber. Again, notice I am not pressing, I'm trying to ensure they do not miss as much as I can. I should have used paper to cover this side first. So whatever it is you have access to use. That's my point in using different substrates. So here I have used coconut fiber. For some of us that are super traditional, you may be like, nah, what I'm used to is soy. So let me bring in some soy. So here I am using normal soy. It's not properly, but I just want you to notice that I am still not pressing. I'm only just filling the holes. Because different people will ask, oh, which one is the best? You can use whichever one you have access to for your nursery. You can use rice hull, you can use your sawdust, but carbonate them so that, so this is with soy, and I can even use coconut fiber. This is coconut fiber mixed with soy, 50-50%. So the point being, you can use anything you have access to. You are not locked into, oh, if you don't use this, it won't work. No. Still notice whether I'm using coconut fiber or whatever it is, I did not press. And I'm done. So I've used 4 different substrates. I've used 4 different substrates. I want to pour the sand on that here. Then I was hoping I could use more than 4, but this is already filled up. So what I will just do is I will take one of these, and this is rock wool. So I can as well use rock wool. Throw them in like that. Throw them in like that. This is rock wool. Now the next important step is watering. So you water before you plant. Now, for watering, most people pour in their water like this. It works. So let's try the method. But the disadvantage of this at times is you may start putting in holes, especially when you have plants already present in the system. So notice I did not take my hand up from so far off to pour water. So you see what I'm saying? So a better way to water instead. Then you also notice that they have different water permeability capacity, the different substrate I'm using. You can see the soil is not letting the water go in fast. This is the coco fiber, water has gone in. Compare that to peat moss, the water is already in. So this is soil and coco fiber. Then when you have done this, you allow it drain. Okay, I still have to water the second substrate. I have to water the second substrate. Normally, option number 2 is to have a thing like a cup or a container so that you just put it inside, you submerge it inside. So I'm giving it time to soak. So I went to take a container. So a better option how you water is, so this is my container. I can cut this into 2 and I just leave it inside the water so that it takes in the water at its own flow rate through capillary action, and you are done. Now, once I am done with this, I expect the excess water should have drained out. Yes, it has. So if the water that drains out you check is too much, you can simply take out the excess water, pour it away if it's in an enclosed environment. Next is my planting. So I get the seed. Today I'll be planting tomatoes. Some of you would get different seeds. You have different seeds. Same process applies. Oops, that's too much. I've poured out too much. I won't need up to this at all. So let me return. So I'm still waiting for it to take in as much water as it needs to take in on its own. As much water as it needs to take in on its own. As much. The seeds are still too many. They're out. So the next is planting. Now, in planting of your seed, in the planting of my seed, I'm going to use, you can use something like a pen, anything, to bore in little holes, very tiny holes, or let me even get a pen so that it's practical. So I want to use something like that. Now, in putting my holes, I am not going to be creating holes that are so deep. Just very little. Very little. So I'm going to see if I can bring this down for us to see. So see how tiny my holes are. Very tiny holes. Very tiny holes. You don't want to stress the plant in trying to come out once it breaks dormancy. So very tiny holes. So very tiny holes. My holes are less than a centimeter deep. Less than a centimeter deep. Then I take my seeds one after the other and throw inside the holes I had created. One after the other. Throw inside the holes. Now, another way to know whether what you have done, whether the holes are too deep or not, is if after planting your seed and you look to your holes, you cannot see your seed, meaning you look into the hole and you notice you can't see the seed, it's a pointer to the fact that your holes are too deep. Now, once you are done with your nursery, the idea is to keep it moist, not waterlogged, because if it is waterlogged, your plant will drown. That's the seeds will drown when the water is too much. On the flip side, you don't also want to leave them dried up. You don't want the substrate to dry up. If not, the seeds will burn. The seeds will burn. So it's to keep it moist. Moist is your substrate is just wet. Not that, oh, when you check the water is dripping out, that is soaked. The seeds would drown and die. You just want it moist. So, because I'm doing that one after the other. Now, in some cases, if you like, you can decide to plant 2 seeds instead of 1 seed. You can decide, okay, I want to plant 2 seeds per hole or per well. We call this a well, or a hole, whichever one you prefer. If you decide to plant 2 seeds, now when we say 2 seeds, we are not saying put 2 seeds in the same hole, meaning you can have 2 holes created in the same well and you plant. Now, in a case where you do that, once they start growing, check if they have enough space to grow. In a case where they do not have enough space to grow, once they start growing, look for the one amongst the 2 that is not growing well, cut it out. We call that thinning. So next thing is I want to cover my holes. Remember, my seeds are inside. So again, remember, if you notice, I'm not pressing. I am not pressing. I'm just using whatever substrate I used to cover the seed or to bury the seed. So don't press. I'm just covering my seed. I hope you can see that. I'm just covering the seeds. So it's more or less in creating the hole where my seed is. So I am checking to be sure that yes, I have a seed in the hole. Remember what I said earlier? You should be able to see your seeds. You should be able to see your seed. If you plant and you can't see the seed, the hole is already too deep. The hole is already too deep. Then I fix my labels. So what information should be contained on my label? The name of the plants I want to grow. So first I have the name of the plant. So you see the name of the plant, the variety of the plant, the date of my planting. So I have the name. So here, like I said earlier, I'm planting tomatoes. It marks F1. Marks F1. So most of the time, they will tell you the name of your plant. So you don't need to, when you're buying seed, the seed company is supposed to tell you what you are given. Then, because I am using different substrates, I call this is coco coir. So remember when we started, I used different substrates in planting. So I would want to, so the first one was peat moss. Some seed poured from my hands earlier when I carried the seed bag up. So what I'm simply doing is, so now I am planting 2 seeds in this well. So despite the fact I have 2 seeds, remember what I said, when it is time for, once they start growing, I will check out and thin to see, okay, you don't look like what is doing well, let me take you out. So you do not affect the ones that are doing well. Because remember, your tomato seedlings will spend at least 21 days here. And the last thing you want is to have them competing for space. Their roots, you want to give enough root net space for their roots to develop while they are here. So if I see out of the 2, one is not doing well, I simply take it out quickly. Next, I have coco coir, so I put that here. Then next to that, we had soy. I think the last one was coco coir plus soy. And then we had ordinary soil. So let's also plant here. So if you look at with this, I am done. Now the next major step is, how do you water your plant when they are already growing, now that I have finished planting? Now that I have finished planting, it is not wise to come and do this. It's not so wise. The reason being that when I put water at the top, because the seeds are just germinating, the pressure I am using to pour the water can actually destroy the seeds. So 2 methods. I can get a big bowl, pour the water inside, put my nursery tray inside it. So take for instance, if I raise this out, this is like a bowl. So I can pour water here, put this on top, and allow the water to percolate on its own level. So maybe in the morning before I go out to the bathroom, I put water, I put my nursery inside, and it takes in water gradually. By the time I am done from the bathroom, it has taken up enough water, and I can pour out the excess water. Or you can get a sprayer that you just use like that, so it pours like rain, but the pressure is not so much. But this is most effective when your substrate is already a bit wet. So you just go like that, and you say, oh, I am done with watering. I hope this makes sense. So let's plant in this last one. Again, like I did before, I will bore holes. So just tiny holes. Then I get my seeds and put inside the holes, remember? Get my seeds and put inside the holes like that and like that. So once I do that, again I cover. Let me get something. I cover. This is rock wool. So if we are going to use rock wool, when it's time to transplant, I'm going to transplant all of these as a whole and plant it together. It's not that I'm going to remove it out from the substrate. So I cover and I cover. So, and I'm done. Then again I get my label. I just place it somewhere by the side so that everything is properly labeled. Now I am done with planting. The next step is, where do I keep my plants? You want to keep your plants in a place that is airy but has shade. You don't put your nursery under direct sunlight. If in your place where you are there is a tree, you can place your nursery under the tree, as long as you're sure no insect or anything would attack your nursery where they are. So you can place them under a tree, you can put them in your veranda, you can put them on your kitchen window where you know air can come in and out. But once they start growing, you then need to take them out to a place where breeze can pass through them properly. Because how do you know when your breeze is not enough? They start growing and they look spindle like thread, like they are not strong. So if you have something like that, it means the breeze is not enough, the wind is not enough to give them rigidity. I hope this makes sense. So try out your new nursery. Remember what I explained. Now, if you are growing herbs or things like very little things like that have very tiny seeds, like lettuce, like cabbage and the rest, you can do broadcast method. So what broadcast method simply means is, instead of doing holes like we did before planting, all you simply do is have your substrate, sprinkle them, then put a new layer of substrate, a little on top of them, and wet. So in that case, you can use the soaking wetting or the sprayer method of wetting, whichever one you have access to. The most important thing is you do not want to disturb your seeds when they are growing. Thank you. So please try it out and let me know your progress. Thank you.